Greetings, folks, to episode 8 from Jim Pearson Photography. In this week's video, we're centered around CSX's Howell yard in Evansville, Indiana, which used to belong to the L&N Railway back in the steam days. This is currently a crew change point for the intermodals that run up and down between Chicago and Florida. This is IO 25 as it comes into the yard. It'll go down to Newburgh Road, where it's at the south end, location known as Hybrid, where it will do a crew change before heading on south on the Henderson subdivision. Howell Yard is also the northern terminus for the Henderson subdivision, which runs between Nashville and Tennessee and Evansville, Indiana. The yard is fairly easy to rail fan, as there's public access all around it, and an overpass on the south end, which is where these shots that you're viewing now were taken from. To the south of the yard, only by a few miles, is the viaduct over the Ohio River into Kentucky, which is a very popular spot for rail fans. And the location is called Ram on Google Maps, if you'd like to go there sometime and do some rail fanning. This is the south end of the yard we just saw, and they're finishing up a crew change here at the signals at Hybrid, as this location is known. This is at Newburgh Road. About 15 miles to the, well, I'm sorry, let me back up for a second. The viaduct is very popular because it's over a floodplain, and it's a long, gradual climb up to the bridge over the Ohio River into Henderson, Kentucky. You probably have seen various videos and still photos that I've shot at Ram. And today, it continues to be one of my favorite spots to rail fan on the Henderson subdivision. About 15 miles to the north of Evansville, Howell Yard, is Princeton, Indiana, where the Norfolk Southern's east-west district crosses over the CSX line. Another excellent location for rail fanning. About 10 miles to the west of Howell is Evansville Western's headquarters, and they have a local that comes into Howell Yard daily, as well as coal trains back and forth as needed. And if you're ever rail fanning Howell, you need to make sure you spend some time, budget in some time rather, and go down to Mount Vernon, Indiana, and catch some of the Evansville Western operation. That's a regional rail line that belongs to the Paducah-Louisville Railway. Many folks have asked me what kind of gear I use whenever I'm shooting my videos, and 99.9% of all my videos are shot with an iPhone 14 Pro. It has excellent image stabilization built into it, and it's my favorite shooting platform for videos. I love how you can zoom in and portability of it. I will add that I've also got a shotgun microphone that I use on the iPhone whenever I'm videotaping or video shooting, whatever it is these days. I like to mix up my shots by zooming in and out, showing different angles as the train passes by, to make it a little bit more interesting for viewers. As you're looking at I-025 here, it is headed south toward Graham and on down to Henderson subdivision towards Nashville. My video editing software is Adobe Premiere Pro. Unless I'm editing on the iPhone. And if I'm editing on the iPhone, I use Adobe Rush software. Now we catch the Evansville Western pulling into the north end of Howell Yard to do its daily exchange. Find our next train is the hot intermodal I-028 as it passes through the signals at Broadway, location known as Broadway at Howell Yard. They'll do a crew change here, but I opted to go ahead and get set up at a crossing where they leave out of the yard and continue on north, as I wanted to set up for some drone shots. And the folks at Howell don't particularly like you flying over their yard, so I typically stay either to the north or the south of the yard for drone shooting. Here we see I-028 as it starts its run out of the yard after doing a crew change. The facility over to the left is the engine servicing facility. The tower is down midway in the yard. You can just kind of see the top of it over the train off in the distance there. The track off to the right there is the Evansville Western line. It sees probably on average 2 or 3 trains a day, I think. One local back and forth each way, and then it also sees at least 1 or 2 coal trains a day, because Evansville Western takes CSX coal trains out that way and loads them at a mine out there. This shot shows I-28 as it heads north into Evansville, Indiana, and on north up to Mount Vernon, and to its ultimate destination up and around Chicago. According to my list, I-28 runs from Fairburn, Georgia, which is down around Atlanta, to Bedford Park, Illinois. I-25 that we saw earlier, I'm told, runs between Bedford Park and Jacksonville, Florida. The other 2 intermodals that run up and down this line is I-26 and I-29. And they run the opposite of their counterparts, 25 and 28. Signals here are called the North Howell, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. The drone I fly is the DJI Air 2S, in case anybody's wondering. And Didn't know that. I've flown the Mini before, but I eventually sold it and bought the Air 2S, and I've been pretty happy with it. As you can tell, I really like zooming in and getting different perspectives on train videos. I think it makes the video much more interesting. This is a yard job that was working on building trains here at Howell. I understand they don't do that a lot anymore, but they do some. I thought I'd show you a little bit of different yard jobs working. Here's a closer shot showing the administrative offices and the service facility at the north end of Howell. There is a highway that goes all the way around the yard, or roads, that make it fairly easy to rail fan without getting on their property. Never did catch the ID on this particular grain train, but it's pulling in from the north, and they ended up tying it down, I'm assuming to wait for a fresh crew here at Howell before continuing on north, or south rather. This train will actually conclude this video today. I hope you've enjoyed this Saturday edited video action around Evansville, Indiana. And if you'd like to see more of my videos, give me a like here and as always, be safe trackside, and have a blessed day, everyone. I'll have another live video for you on next Saturday. Not live, but another edited video for you next Saturday. My Saturday edited videos post at 10 o'clock Central Time. Actually, I'm sorry, 9 o'clock Central Time. Every Saturday morning. And my shorts typically post in the mornings, if you're interested in seeing those. Every Saturday morning. I usually try to get them up there around 9 o'clock, but it doesn't always work that way. So just kind of keep an eye out for them, or else visit my YouTube or Facebook page here. And you can also find me on TikTok and Instagram. Have a blessed day, everyone.